Thank you, Mr. President and members. All righty. I am, members, truly honored to make this presentation today. This story began, it's my understanding, somewhere in the great state of Pennsylvania, where a very strong woman was raising her family, and the family acquired a piece of property, and they decided that they were going to sell, or today flip, that property. And that's where it all began, because they hadn't stopped to this point. It was one business deal after another, and the family became very, very successful. And one of the daughters decided that she was going to be the best that she could be, so she helped manage the properties of the family. And whenever they would bring in new tenants or what have you, she would go in, paint the place. She knew how to do plumbing. She knew how to do whatever it took to prepare the property. She became an expert. They decided to come to the great state of California, and it is my honor to present to you today Dr. La-Doris McClaney, who is the president and CEO of McClaney Properties. She went to, give her a round of applause. One of the things that when I reflect back on her life that I can really identify with is she is a graduate from Shaw University. It's an African-American school, and I myself graduated from Lincoln University, which is another African-American school as well. And when we look at her, we see just the type of talent that Shaw University was able to produce. She has also received an honorary doctorate degree from Bethune-Cookman, another African-American university, and I have an honorary degree from Lincoln University as well. Trust me, I do not have the real estate holdings. I do not know how to paint. I do not know how to fix plumbing. So there are a lot of things that I don't know what to do. But this family had the belief that for every step that the family took up the ladder of success, that they would turn around and they would help someone else. Who would believe that this young lady would develop to be a real estate mogul, a motivational speaker, an individual that inspires individuals to reach as high as they can reach? With the wealth that the family accumulated, they became givers to various causes of importance. And I just want to highlight just a few of these well-deserved causes. The American Lung Association, the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Associations, our own Charles Giroux University, sickle cell, the the United Negro College Fund. And I could go on and on and on. And also, she has always made her home, which is a phenomenal home, available to individuals for events so that you could raise money for very, very needy causes. She has over 500 proclamations, accommodations, resolutions. You could wallpaper my entire block with the number of accommodations and awards that she has received. But if you were to go and have a conversation with her today, she would not brag. She would not boast. What she would tell you is that I am a child of God. Let's give Dr. La-Doris McClaney a round of applause. Give her a round of applause.
Mr. President, please turn around. All your guests, turn around and look at the admiration.
Mr. President and members, we have some very special guests with us today. And I do want to bring forward, where is the young man from Congresswoman Karen Bass's office? Here, now, I'm going to help you out here. I'm going to show that I can help other people as well. This is a resolution of sorts that will be read into the congressional record declaring, is it today?
It's going to actually be the 20th.
Declaring January 20th, Dr. La-Doris McClaney Day. So I just wanted to say to all of the people that are with us today and those that are watching us on Channel 35, that will occur on the 20th of this month. I have another friend, a true messenger, who I think has the Lord on speed dial. An individual that I've had the pleasure to work with in what you're beginning to see as the transformation of the Crenshaw area. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bishop of the West Angeles Church of God in Christ, Bishop Blake, and his wife, the lovely wife, the First Lady, they're here. Bishop, I'm going to ask if you would say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Wesson, President of the Council, to all the council members and to all the citizens of the city of Los Angeles. What a thrill it has been to know and to associate with Dr. La-Doris McClaney. Our relationship goes back many years now. Lady May and I are proud to say that she's a dear friend and a partner and a supporter of so many endeavors that have been important to us. During the most severe years of the African AIDS pandemic, Save Africa's Children contributed over $5 million to more than 400 African orphan care programs in 24 nations on the continent of Africa. As a board member, La-Doris McClaney made her home in Homely Hills available to host fundraisers. And then she traveled with us to many of the nations that have orphanages that Save Africa's Children has supported. She not only contributed liberally to Save Africa's Children, she also contributed directly to many of those institutions providing needed assistance to those children. It was impressive to see her relating to the African children with compassion and providing encouragement to their caregivers. La-Doris McClaney considers wealth to be an instrument to be used to improve the lot of those who need assistance, that we are merely custodians of God's resources. It's been a thrill to observe her give million-dollar gifts to colleges, million-dollar gifts to universities, and then providing scholarships and opportunities for global experience for college students, housing constantly groups of foreign students in her home for extended periods of time. She's a dear friend and a dear supporter of West Angeles Church and our community development efforts. She really does believe that it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And I'm proud that our civic leaders have called upon us to pause and to appropriately say to La-Doris McClaney, thank you, thank you, thank you. We want her to enjoy her special day of honor, and we want her to know that she will always have a special place in our hearts. Lady May and I and the West Angeles congregation all love La-Doris McClaney very, very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, great Bishop. I would like to request that a dear friend and supporter, the great representative from the 9th District, Mr. Curran Price, join in on this presentation. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just so honored and pleased to join in the celebration for Dr. McClaney. She's joined by her family, the Bishop and Mrs. Blake, and just well-wishers. She really has demonstrated that it's possible to do well and to do good, and she's done them both. As a scholar, a philanthropist, an activist, she definitely has made her mark on our city. And most importantly, she is always on the side of children and families. And so I'm just pleased to join with you, Mr. President, and our entire city council and our city as we just recognize the outstanding contributions that Dr. Doris McClaney has made to our city, to our state, and to our nation. And she continues to be a real source of inspiration and encouragement for us all. We're happy to have you here, Doctor. Congratulations. Best wishes. Continued success.
Thank you, Mr. Price and Mr.
Parks.
Mr. Parks.
From the great 8th District, Mr. Parks.
Thank you. La-Doris, I don't have my glasses on, but I know you're there. And I want to say hello to Tommy, because we've known each other for at least 100 years. But I just want to say congratulations. You have kept up that legacy that your mom and your sister, and we can't forget about your sister, the things that she did in this community, and the things you continue to do to ensure that you have been able to touch the lives of so many young people. And I appreciate it and look at you as a friend. And although we see each other periodically, not as much as we used to because you're far busier than I am, but the issues are that you have never lost track of what's significant to this community. I want to say thank you, because so many people will be so willing to just build another gate, another fence in front of their house and just stay inside. You've always opened your house and opened your heart to everyone. Thank you.
Very well said, Mr. Price and Mr. Parks. Before I request the good doctor to speak with us, I want to just say to her, the only thing for me that is not perfect about this day is that we don't have Lewis White with us. She was a very, Lewis depended on her and her family, and many of the people that work in this building remember Lewis White as the chief of staff for Los Angeles City Councilman Nate Holden. Oh, okay. I just got information that there's one additional speaker. A surprise speaker. Surprise speaker. Please come forward. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Hello, my name is Dorothy Ellis, in honor of Dr. La-Doris McClaney and Bishop Blake, esteemed council members and esteemed guests. I am honored to be here to represent my friendship with La-Doris. I'd also like to acknowledge the three ladies who were instrumental in putting this together. Lady May Blake, Mrs. Janice Smallwood McKenzie,
Yes.
and Jacqueline Castillo. Well, I am a little nervous, but I want to tell you this is deja vu for me, because 30 years ago, I was in this very arena with La-Doris' mother, who gave $6 million to American Lung Association, and I was honored to be with her that day as her private nurse. And now I'm following, her daughter doesn't fall that far from what her mother has done, because she also is giving away millions of dollars to schools all the time. This year, she's given $1 million to Drew and Charles Drew Medical Center, and also to Bethune College, $1 million. She is still a giver, and she will always be a giver.
$1 million.
So that tells you that I have been her friend for over 30 years. Proverbs 13:20 says, "He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." Be careful who you choose to be your friend. Be careful who you spend time with, because you and your friend will eventually resemble each other. My friendship with La-Doris cannot be described in a single word. We easily share good thoughts and understand each other unconditionally, and I can say that for many people that are here that are her friends. I think I speak for everybody here who's La-Doris' friend. You know you have a friend when you can gain. You must be a friend in order to gain a friend. The greatest evidence of our friendship is her honesty and loyalty to each other, being available to help each other in times of distress and personal struggles. Our friendship is priceless. I love Proverbs. Proverbs 18:24 also states, "A man of many companions may come into ruins, but there is friends who stick closer than a brother." La-Doris is not a fair-weathered friend. Most people want to be your friends when things are going great, and they'll leave you when things are not well. La-Doris is a friend that will be with you until the end. Through difficult times, I have observed La-Doris through the years, buying clothing, food for people who are shut in, never asking for anything. Her love is unconditional. She's also will allow people to stay at her home who are recuperating from illnesses for years if they need to, because La-Doris' love is unconditional. Her friendship is unconditional. La-Doris is a true friend. She's not afraid of telling you the truth. She will always have your back if you're her friend. They say the kind of friends you have sometimes determine the type of person you are. This is what I advise: to be careful who you're making as a friend. La-Doris is a friend who has integrity, good thoughts, character, and she never judges me or anyone that I know of. She's always supportive and asks and provides sound, good advice. La-Doris, I want to thank you for being my friend. I'm honored to stand before you today on this special day and say you are my closest, dearest friend forever. And I know I can get a lot of groans from a lot of people because they also feel the very same way. I think that we should all give La-Doris McClaney a round of applause for being the special lady today.
Mr. President.
Well said, and I think that we should give you a round of applause. She had all these little bitty pieces of paper and didn't get one of them out of sequence. Let's give her a round of applause.
Mr. President, I just wanted to say something. Moments before, I had a chance to visit with Dr. McClaney, and we reminisced about Tom Bradley. And I always want to mention his name when we're honoring someone so special, and she told a special story. And then also, Mr. President, only because there's a small protocol item here, you forgot to introduce one person in this chambers to your left. To your left.
Only you
I have to do it.
would break the man code and tell the world that I forgot to introduce my wife. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife Fabian is somewhere. I'm going to have to ask the bishop to pray for me that she doesn't do bodily harm. Members, it is with great honor that we, all of us, sign this resolution, declare this day, the 16th of January, Dr. La-Doris McClaney Day. La-Doris, please come forward. It is you. Okay, Doctor, the mic is yours.
President Wesson, all elected officials, my minister, Bishop Charles Blake, my family, my significant other, Mr. Thomas Parker, and the wonderful ladies that are hosting this event today, Lady Maylines Blake, Miss Jackie Castillo, and Miss Janice Smallwood McKenzie. How honored I am to be here today. In 1986, my late mother and I stood in this chambers on a celebration of giving. I had lost my sister 1 year earlier, and my mom felt that it was significant that we choose 11 charitable organizations and give a multi-million-dollar gift. On the way home that day, with all the festivities that went on in this chambers, was a day I'll never forget. My mother was ailing at that time because she had lost her oldest child and was having a lot of health issues. And as we sat in the car going home, she grabbed my hand and says to me, La-Doris, who would have ever thought a black woman from the backfields of Alabama in complete poverty would be able to parlay from the cotton fields to Holmby Hills? God is truly good. She looked into my eyes and asked me to make a promise to her because she felt that her time was limited at that time, that I would continue the legacy of the McClaney family, mass as much as I could, not for me, but to be able to relinquish it and help someone else. See, my hobby is giving.
Come on.
I love helping people that are less fortunate than I am. I am so grateful, as Bishop Blake being my minister and mentor, to much is given, much is required.
Come on.
What good is gaining the entire world and selfishly keeping it to yourself when you can reach out and help someone else? When the day comes that the Almighty God looks into his book and asks to bring La-Doris McClaney home, I want to tell him, yes, I fed the hungry. I clothed those that did not have clothing. I educated those that were unable to be educated on their own, and I turned it loose to you. I am so grateful today. My heart is heavy with gratitude, humbleness, and the love of everyone in this chamber. There is an old Negro hymn that I live by, and that goes that I'm running to make 100. 99 and a half won't do. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Let's give Dr. McClaney a round of applause. That's very motivational. Mr. President and members, thank you very much.